How we doing, guys? So I have to cop to screwing up these last two submissions, 205 and 206, right? 204 and 205, whatever it is. So two ago, I completely whiffed. I think that was 205. 205. I completely and totally whiffed on that. I don't know why. Then 206, I did the entire video, and for some reason didn't hit record. Didn't hit record. So I don't know. So sometimes I mess up. So let's take a look at this is 207. This is the order in its entirety. We're going to take a look at everything. Pokemon. Not a lot of Pokemon on this, but all Charizard in a 10. All of these were 10s, which is nice. But they're all 10s. So I have messed up a little bit, and I do apologize for messing up a little bit. It wasn't intentional, I promise you that. So here's a good one. So here's one for us to a learning thing for us. So this person sent this card because he wanted it crossed over to SGC, but he put a minimum grade on it of a 2. If it could not hit a 2, he did not want it flipped over. Well, this is a 2 miscut, which really, if you think about it, if you go with the theory that it's miscuts are a couple of grades lower, it's really an authentic. So, you know, I mean, we sent it in because that's what he wanted us to do. SGC could not give it the 2 that he requested, so they didn't take it out. So this is something you can do with SGC. $15. You know, can you? And I always tell people put a minimum grade. I would like this crossed over if the minimum grade of 1 can be met. In this case, the 2 that he wanted could not be met, so they didn't open it up. They sent it back. If it could, they would have flipped it over to an SGC sub. So there's a nice learning thing. So that's good. I like learning. So here's some 1948 Leaf, Wagner in a 4. Kent Peterson in a 4.5. All Trout. Is he related to Mike? Mickey Harris. Kluszewski. He's a monster. Vandermeer. Some good names. Is this Ennis? I think this is Ennis. I always want, but it's 2 N's, so it's got to be Ennis, right? Not Enos. I don't know. Billy Johnson. 3. Looks like we're a little high. Let me see if I can get the camera down a little bit. Roy Smalley. Joe Gordon. Ewell Blackwell. 48-49 Leaf. So that was a nice order. And a chance to pass on some SGC knowledge. I like passing on, even though I don't have any myself. So this is a cool one here. Rhea Ripley. Legacies. This is a superfractor. So it's a 1 of 1 and came back at 10. So that's nice. So we had a couple here that had some cards that came back as DNGs. So let's take a look at the first DNG. See what happened here. Aha, so here's a good example of things that SGC does not grade. Okay, so we know this is a secondary market autograph. Now this is an original Topps cards, but somebody put the sticker auto on there, and you know that you have the Stan the Man logo on there. So this would be considered a secondary market autograph. They did not pull it out of the pack like this. Somebody put this stuff on after the fact, and SGC does not authenticate, does not grade those kind of cards. So there's a good example of that. In case that comes up ever with you, just know that SGC does not do secondary market autograph authentication. 10 and an 8. Thick cards are always tough. The auto's a 10, the card's an 8. That's why we got two grades on it. So it's a 10 auto. 10 and a 9.5. So the auto's a 10. Card itself is a 9.5. Victor in a 10. Okay, so here's a good example of the other way. Again, I always do this every video when one comes up. So the auto is not a 10, which is why it doesn't have 2 grades. The auto is not a 10, but the card itself is a 10. So the auto cannot be a 10, and you still got a 10. What's the difference between, let's say this were a 10-10 and this were a 10? What's the difference? I don't think anything myself. I think this card's still a 10. It's still a certified auto. Everything's still the same. This is a pretty Victor. Orange Flash Prism in a 10. 9.5. Deep Space. Royce Gracie, 10 and a 9.5. That's pretty cool. And here's a 10-10. Drew Jones. Upper Deck. Huh. What's this out of? Prominent Cuts. UD. Oh, the National. Okay. That makes sense. But they go. Yeah, they all go together. Look at that. Erling Haaland. Red Ice Prism got a 10. Alessandro Bastoni. 10 and 9.5. Katie Ledecky. That's pretty. Got a 10. And Kaoru Mitoma. Kairu Mitoma. I don't know. That one's beyond me. That one's beyond me. Oof, an 8.5 on Victor. That's a rough one. 9.5. Bobby Witt Black Refractor. That's pretty. 2024 got a 9. Here's a 10-10. Josh Giddey. 8.5. Nick Bosa. Marquee Men. Jason Arnaud? Those double T's at the end messed me up. I got an 8.5. Let's look at this one. This one's kind of cool because it has an oversized card. So oversized cards, you know, sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're not okay. There's a specific size. I think it's 3.5 by 5.5 if it's larger than that. We'll take a look at the other ones first, though. 58 Topps Batting Foes. You got a 3. Ozzy got a 5. Rookie. 1966 Don Russ Marvel. You don't see a lot of these. Just fixing a little. Got a 6. Huh. So these are cool. I dig these. These are the 1914 blankets, right? Blankets, right? And this is Walter Johnson. So this one, because it's larger than, it was a $40 upcharge. So it didn't exceed the value, but it did get an upcharge because of the size. So this one costs $40 to get graded. Let's take a look. This one's a 2-part order. This is not a huge order here. This is not a huge order this month or this week. We just took and sent off today a 600 cards. So that's a nice order. So here's a couple of DNGs. Okay, but these, I'm not even sure what these came from. Pastime Series, and I told him when he dropped it off that I didn't think they would grade these. I don't even know what these are, to be honest with you. But they're from. So if you get a DNG, right? So you notice it says "Do not grade, no charge." So if you get a DNG, you're not going to be charged for the card because it's just something that they don't grade. For whatever reason, that happens. For whatever reason, they just decided, they didn't decide, they just don't grade these cards. And so you don't get charged for them if they don't grade them. $7.5, Herb Adley. Got a 7.5. Bagwell, 8.5. This is a nice one. Larry Doby in a 3. 49 Bowman. This was snapped out. It was a 3 originally, SGC. It was snapped out, and they wanted to resent to see if they could do better. A card can always be sent back in for a reevaluation, right? You got to pay the $15, but if you feel like the card is better, I feel like the card is better than the 3 I want to send in for reevaluation. We can do that. You just got to pay the $15 to do it. 60 Leaf, Sparky in a 9. Maddox in an 8. Some cards I wouldn't send. I mean, this is a nice, I mean, I don't think there's an upside for this card. This is pretty decent in an 8. Chris Pronger in an 8. And Lemieux in a 7.5. I mean, you know, those are some of the things I'm not sure that I would send in. I mean, I guess if you're getting these done for you, it doesn't make a difference. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting these done for you, it doesn't make a difference. Do your thing, because that's the kind of thing you want to get done. But if the goal is to ultimately turn them, I think you've got to have you know, look at them a little bit stronger. Take a minute and look at them a little bit stronger. I would. 6.5 for Pat LaFontaine. 6.5. Let's say the worst case scenario happened where you look at, you know, you think your card, let's say you look into this card, you say, okay, the worst I think this Larry Doby is going to come back is a 3. Is whatever I'm into this card plus $15 to get it graded, is there profit in that? You know what I'm saying? Is there profit in that if that's what I'm going to sell? Is the cost of my John Stockton card plus $15 worth more than an 8? And I think that's always a conversation. There's an 8. 60-61 Parkhurst. Olmsted in a 7. Stevie Y in a 7. Brendan Shanahan in a 9. And an 8.5. Nice 8.5 for Chris Mullin. Not so great. 7 Isaiah. 8.5 for Adam Oates. These are all peachy though, so a little bit better. 49 Bowman. Dave Philly. 5.5. There's a 7 for Kurt Flood. That's a nice one. And a 7. Edward Bell gets a 7. 6 for Charles Barkley. 9. Mike Piazza. Richter gets a 9. Vinny Minoso, 4.5. Roger Maris, 4. And then a 5. Jim Rika, I'm going to guess. That's part of that other one, both together. This is always a nice one because he always has good vintage stuff. Look at that Duke. Redman Tobacco with the, and there's your Spawn at a 2.5. I picked up a nice run of Redman. I should, I'll get those, get them graded. Eddie Yost in a 3.5. 56 tops. 62 tops, Brock in a 3. I think that's a tougher back, isn't it? I could be wrong. Hank Aaron in a 2. That's a pretty card. Look at that. It's a great color on that card. Really great color on that card. Don Larson in a 3. $5.5, 52 tops. He's been sending a lot of 52 tops in. I think he's working on having the entire set graded. In a 4. John Miller. Geez, John Miller is old. Look at this. This is 1911. He looks like he's a full-grown man. He's still announcing today for the Giants. There's red in a 4. Campanella. He's one of the biggest what-ifs for me. Wonder if he would have been able to play out his career. Would he be the greatest catcher of all time? Probably. Enos Slaughter in a 3.5. 1912 Recruit Little Cigars. Ainsmith. Edward Ainsmith. Huh. Too bad. It's got the writing. Probably would have. And there's a Hoyt Wilhelm. 1956 tops in a 5. All right, short video today, right? Short one. Only 15 minutes of talking about this. Next couple ones will be big. Next week is 208, which is 4 full years of sending in orders once a week. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day.